Hello everyone, this is Janvi Tripathi and I'll be discussing my review on the novel To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. So let's move on. Let us discuss the presentation outline. So first we'll be discussing a bit about the characters, then the plot summary, then my analysis of the novel and conclusive thoughts. So let us first talk about the background. So Harper Lee was an American novelist and she was born in Monroeville, Alabama. And this novel and its characters are closely based on her own life. This novel, To Kill a Mockingbird, won the 1961 Pulitzer Prize and went on to become a classic of modern American literature. So the major themes that are explored in this novel are racism, prejudice, injustice, and courage. So first, we'll be talking about the characters as we discussed in the outline. First character is Scout Finch, who is also the protagonist and the narrator of this novel. She's a young girl who is tomboyish and outspoken, and she has a close relationship with her brother Jem and father Atticus. Jem is a 10-year-old brother of Scout, and he's mature and thoughtful beyond his years. Atticus Finch, their father, he's a widowed lawyer, and he's known for his integrity and fairness in the whole town of Macon. Calpurnia is Finch family's black housekeeper who acts as a motherly figure to Scout and Jem. Then Dill Harris. Dill is Scout and Jem's friend who visits Macon every summer. Then Boo Redley. Boo is a reclusive neighbor who becomes the subject of fascination for Scout, Jem, and their friend Dill. Now, Tom Robinson, he is a black man who was falsely accused of raping a white woman, Mayla, whom Atticus defended in court. Mayla and Bob. Bob is a poor racist and abusive father who accuses Tom of rape, and Mayla is his daughter, and she's a victim of her father's abuse. Then Hack Tate, he is the town sheriff. Story is set in a small southern town of Macomb in Alabama during the 1930s, and the narrator of the story is Jean Lewis, Scout Finch. So the story begins with a trial of Tom Robinson, a black man falsely accused of raping a white woman. Despite overwhelming evidence of his innocence, Tom is found guilty by an all white jury and is later killed while trying to escape from prison. Atticus, who defended Tom in court, becomes the target of harassment and ridicule from the townspeople for his stance on racial equality. In addition to this, the novel also focuses on Scout and Jem's coming of age as they learn about the harsh realities of the world around them. They encounter a mysterious neighbor named Boo Redley, who they initially fear but eventually come to understand and appreciate. Then Atticus Finch, because he defended the black man, due to that, Bob Ewell, the town's most notorious racist, attacks Scout and Jem. First, he threatened Atticus that he will harm his children. And then he actually attacks Scout and Jem, causing Jem to break his arm because obviously, but they are saved by Boo, who kills Bob in self defense. So in the climax, the sheriff makes the decision not to charge Boo, recognizing that his actions were motivated by a desire to protect the children and that he should not be punished for that. Talking about the plot in detail, a significant portion of the story revolves around how Atticus teaches the children to be kind and fair minded and just and stand firm for their beliefs. And he does the same. He believes in leading by example. He stands against the mob when it comes to lynch Tom to death. When Scout asks him why is he defending a black person, he says that if I didn't, I couldn't hold up my head in the town. I couldn't represent this country and county in legislature. I couldn't even tell you or Jem not to do something again. So he will do something first for he believes that he can tell his children what to do only when he is doing the right thing. Then the novel also highlights social inequality based on social class. The Finch family, who are white and well off, because Finch is a lawyer, and they are respected members of the community, while the evils, who are white and poor, are seen as outcasts and treated with suspicion and contempt. This is shown through the character of Bob Ewell, who is abusive and neglectful towards his children and tries to frame Tom Robinson for his daughter's rape when it was Mayla who kissed Tom and was beaten up by her father for doing so. So the main victim is Mayla, and the accused is her father and not Tom, but he was unfairly accused. Mela is guilty of doing something that was not socially acceptable at the time and which made her lie and which costed Tom his life. Now, the analysis of the novel, uh, we discussed the basic plot, and now we'll be analyzing some of the themes and some of the instances in the novels. So, talking about the major themes, there are several major themes in the novel. These themes are explored throughout the novel and help to give it depth and meaning. Here are some of the key themes. So, the first is racism and prejudice. One of the most prominent themes in the novel is racism and prejudice. The story is set in a small southern town in 1913s, and at that time when segregation and discrimination against Black people was still common. The novel explores the devastating impact of racism on individuals and society as a whole. So Tom Robinson was convicted by an all-white jury, and there was the evidence against him was flimsy, but still he was convicted. And the second instance where we can see prejudice is when Aunt Alexandra believes in the superiority of her social class and race and discriminates against the young Walter Cunningham, who was a scout's friend at school. Then the second theme is courage. Another major theme. The character in the novel are faced with difficult and often dangerous situations, but they show great courage in standing up for what is right. For Atticus Finch, for example, he demonstrates immense courage in defending Tom Robinson. Boo, he risks his own safety and life to save Scout and Jem from an attack by Bob, and he demonstrates that he is not the dangerous monster that people have made him out to be. Now we'll be drawing a comparison between Atticus Finch and Bob Ewell's characters. Atticus and Bob are completely different characters. Uh, so first we'll be discussing on the basis of moral compass. Atticus Finch is known for his strong moral compass and sense of justice. He consistently stands up for what is right, and even when it is difficult or unpopular. In contrast, Bob is portrayed as a dishonest and abusive character who will go to great lengths to protect his own interests, even if it means lying under the oath and framing an innocent man. Uh, Talking about parenting, Atticus is a loving and devoted father who strives to raise his children to be kind, compassionate, and fair minded. He leads by example, teaching them important life lessons through his own actions. Bob, on the other hand, is a neglectful and abusive parent who sets a terrible example for his children. He physically and verbally abuses them and fails to provide them with basic necessities. Talking about social status, Atticus is a respected member of the community and he's admired. He's a successful lawyer who is well liked by his peers and neighbors alike. Bob, in contrast, is an outcast who is looked down upon the community. Then, how they treat is also very different. Atticus he treats everyone with respect and dignity, regardless of their race, social class, of background. He even treats his house help Calpurnia like a member of his own family. Bob is openly racist and abusive towards black people and shows no empathy towards anyone, not even his family. Now, some of the quotes that I liked and which had a huge impact on me are given. Uh, Let me read them. You really never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb into his skin and walk around in it. This was said by Atticus Finch while he was teaching his children about why we should be empathetic towards people. Then people generally see what they look for and hear what they listen for. This was said by Judge Taylor while the trial was going on in the court. I think there's just one kind of folks. This statement single-handedly it destroys the whole racism. The one thing that doesn't abide by majority rule is a person's conscience. So Atticus is an individualist and he believes that a person is capable of and a person should always do that what his conscience tells him to do. And a person should never worry about what the majority is doing or saying. Major theme, or let's say the quote from where the title is derived, it's a sin to kill a mockingbird. Idea comes from it. This is a metaphor for the idea that it is wrong to harm innocent, vulnerable beings who do not harm to others. Who do no harm to others. The mockingbird is used as a symbol of innocence and goodness throughout the novel, and several characters are compared to mockingbirds, including Tom Robinson and Boo Radley. When Atticus tells his children that it's a sin to kill a mockingbird, he's trying to teach them a moral lesson about the importance of protecting the innocent and vulnerable in the society. Just as it would be wrong to kill a harmless bird, it is wrong to harm someone who is innocent and has done no wrong. This idea is particularly relevant in the context of the novel's themes of racism, prejudice, and injustice. Tom Robinson, for example, is an innocent man who is falsely accused simply because of his race. Similarly, Boo Radley is a reclusive and harmless man who is unfairly judged and ostracized by the community. By using the metaphor of the mockingbird, the novel encourages readers to consider the moral implications of their actions and to strive to protect those who are vulnerable and innocent. Now, the relevance of this novel in the course. First, the novel discusses existentialism. The novel explores the search for meaning in life, existential angst, and individualism versus conformity. Atticus, who is an individualist, he believes in the power of individual conscience. Scout, the protagonist, is searching for meaning as she navigates the complexities of social class and racial inequality. Tom Robinson experiences existential angst as he confronts the reality of his situation and the injustices of the legal system. The second thing is the triumph of humanity that we see in the end of the novel. The sheriff's decision not to charge Boo Radley for the murder of Bob represent that an act of compassion transcends the strict letter of the law. It also reflects a growing understanding and empathy between characters in the novel. Boo's character has developed from a mysterious, potentially dangerous outsider to a heroic figure who demonstrates the best qualities of humanity. Now, the conclusion, the learnings that I got from this novel are through the relationships between Scout and her family and between Scout and Boo Radley. We see that even in the face of adversity, there is always the potential for human connection and kindness to prevail. And the second thing is, you reap what you sow. Bob Ewell ultimately faces the consequences of his actions and is killed. And Boo Radley is not even charged for that because he did the right thing. Thank you for listening, and I hope that this review was able to inspire some of you to read the novel if you haven't already. And don't hesitate to ask any questions if you have any. Thank you.